Hey, George. Hey, I'm starving.
Oh, last one. Listen, you gotta help me out. Elaine and Putty just broke up. He's treating me just like a regular customer now.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. No, you were gonna get a deal, huh? There's no laws in this place. Anything goes. It's Thunderdome.
Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinny.
My name's Matt.
How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm having a good time.
We don't really talk about behind-the-scenes stuff here on Seincast, but I want to apologize to our listeners because, I've never been satisfied with the audio quality of this podcast, and one of the most frustrating things about recording is relying on the internet. We spend, about half an hour each show, restarting our computers, resetting the Wi-Fi.
Plugging in now. How do I sound now? Can I go now?
So thanks for your patience, Vinny. And I just want to let our listeners know, thanks for putting up with the audio quality. I think it varies week to week.
This whole operation we got going here.
Yeah. One other thing about our listeners, we need to thank some donations that we've received over the past couple of months. Vinny, I gave you the first half here. You want to get us started? And we have not rehearsed these names, so sorry if we butcher them.
We're also drunk. Just kidding. It's not a wine record this time. First up, James Robinson, Anders Larm, Yiling Sham, Andrew Marks, Johannes Baint Boonstra, Ronnie Setza, Nicole West, William Navarre from Cambridge, Massachusetts, Jason Heasley in Lunenburg, Massachusetts, and Heather Ordonez in Elkridge, Maryland. Hey, right up the road.
Yeah, do you know Elkridge?
I'm familiar with Elkridge.
Okay.
I love Elkridge.
We've also got Jeff and Adrian Wagner from Greensboro, North Carolina. I've got a cousin that lives in Greensboro. David Ziegler from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Matthew Holtwick from North Olmsted, Ohio. Sunil Sawani from Troy, Michigan. Chris Logner from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Nicholas Tate from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jay Vandeveer from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Lewis Krell from Seattle, Washington. We're going to get international here, guys. Cam Anderson from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I think it's Ariel or Arl. What do you think that is?
I'd go with Arl, but
Arl Hogberg from Lavagner. Wait, no. How would you pronounce that town?
Lavanger or Lavanger?
In Norway. Oh, God.
I think people are shutting off at this point.
And Tal Becker from Israel. Thank you so much, everyone, for donating to the show. If you'd like to support Seincast with our monthly hosting costs and getting a show out each week, now's the time to do it. Vinny, I think at this point we're about halfway through season 9.
Please help us keep the lights on just a little bit longer.
But if anyone would like to donate, you can check out paypal.me/Seincast. There's also a link in our show notes. Once again, thanks to everyone who has donated this episode. And anytime we've mentioned your name on the show, we really appreciate it. Vinny, what episode do we have this week?
We're discussing the 11th episode of Season 9, The Dealership, written by Stephen Corrin, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired January 8th, 1998.
What was that, Flinty?
I don't know. I got excited when I saw The Dealership, so I'm excited to discuss this one.
Yeah, this is, I think, a standout episode from Season 9, and probably one of the most memorable, bottle episodes, or one that doesn't take place in Jerry's apartment.
Love those kinds.
Mm-hmm. Love it when we get to those. Quiz time. This is the second episode this season where we don't see Jerry's apartment. Do you remember the first?
Wait, second time this season?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. My memory is shot, man. I'm like a goldfish. But where were we? Oh, I remember you saying it. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But I got nothing.
It was the Merv Griffin show, which I think is surprising because we're in the building. But
it's in the building, and it's right across the hall.
Yeah, but we never see Jerry's apartment in that episode.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. This is the final solo script by Steve Corrin. He'll actually make an appearance, a cameo at the end of the episode. He plays the cab driver.
That was shocking. I've always heard his voice on the commentaries, but never did I know what he looked like. So there you go. Name of the face.
He's also in the, what's the episode where George wants to get fired? He's the guy that's like, hey, bodysuit man.
Oh, that's right.
He's kind of got like is his name Dan Fogler?
Yeah.
Who used to, when he had long hair.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. He does have a Dan Fogel? Yeah. Fleckman.
Well, this is an interesting episode because they had to take Jerry's apartment, the set, apart to build the interior of the dealership. That took up most of the stage. So I think if you want to imagine like Jerry's apartment laid on top of the dealership, where Putty and Jerry sit, I think that's kind of like towards the edge of the couch where that chair is, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And like where I guess where Jerry or where George goes to the vending machine, that would either be in the kitchen or like into the Monk's coffee shop.
All right.
Because the coffee shop was to the right of the apartment on the stage. I don't know. It's just kind of cool if you know the behind the scenes look of the set, you kind of know where things would be. The exterior shots where they're on the car lot, that was actually filmed outside in the back lot. They actually got cars from a Saab dealership that was just right outside the gates of the studio. I don't think any cars went missing, though. That's about it for the trivia, but something I wanted to bring up, this was the first episode to air after Jerry announced that Seinfeld would end in May. So that announcement came December 26th, 1997. Day after Christmas, and a couple of weeks later, Seinfeld comes back, and I think this is really the mark if you look at Nielsen ratings and whatnot. This is where the show just started climbing up and up and up all the way to that finale. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when Jerry announced the show would end and how you felt? And
I vaguely have that memory of the news anchor saying, it's all over for Seinfeld, they're in their final run, and just kind of saying to myself, my friends, my family, like, oh, man.
Sack and gum.
Yeah.
I have a few links here that I'll include in the show notes. I think the New York Times was the source to break the story. My feelings, though, at the time, being a recent Seinfeld fan, I only got into the show at the end of season 8. I was really sad because I'm like, man, I just got into the show. Mm-hmm. I was looking forward to watching it on, Thursdays, but I did have the back catalog to look forward to because I think around this point I was only really familiar with seasons 7, 8, and 9. It definitely felt shocking, I think, to most people because the show was great. It was getting incredible ratings. People loved it. And I think this was the first time I learned a little bit about Jerry Seinfeld, the person, and just his approach to comedy and how important it was for him to end on a high note when so many shows go on way too long.
Yeah, jump in the shark, as they say.
Yeah, looking back, I mean, it seems like the best decision he could have made.
Like the way he says, always leave them wanting more, and that's what you want, and that's what I think we have is that if they would just have done one more season. Even during the commentary, during this episode, you got Andy Ackerman, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Jason Alexander, and Patrick Warburton doing commentary. Both Julia and Andy Ackerman say, "Man, I really wish we would have came back for one more. Like we were having so much fun." But that's the feeling you want. You don't want to have that feeling of, ugh, I'm so glad, glad it's over with, and I can't wait to be done.
Do you agree with them? Like, I know it's kind of hard to be honest, being a huge Seinfeld fan, but
well, what shoes am I wearing right now? Am I the Seinfeld fan? Am I the podcast host? Which one?
Let's do Seinfeld fan and just like a regular TV watcher.
Seinfeld fan. Yeah, of course. You never want your show to end. It's hard because, like you said, the quality was still A+. Mm-hmm. So I didn't. Of course, back then I did not want it to end. I wanted more. But then when I think of The Office, because I was kind of out of it by the time the last season had rolled around, Michael had left, and I was ready for it to be done. I didn't want more because it already jumped their shark in a way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So of course I want more Seinfeld. But when I look back at the show as a whole, I have such a fondness, and there's quality there. There's no like bad runs of episodes, which I'm very thankful for. My favorite show doesn't have any blemishes on it.
Sure. I feel the same way. I think over the years, I always want to side with the creator, whether it's like Seinfeld or like a film franchise I really like. I always want to respect the creator's decisions and say they made the right decision. But, as Jerry said, wanting more isn't such a bad thing, you know?
You're right.
So who knows? There's, I think, 32 shows being revamped right now or returning. What is it? Roseanne, Will and Grace, Mad About You.
The Office, right?
Is The Office coming back too?
There's rumors.
Oh my God. It's crazy. But ultimately, I've accepted it, 20 years later. I'm okay with it.
It's okay. They're there.
One last thing about the commentary. Jason said that they, I guess being the cast members, wanted to do either the final season or the final episode in New York City, not LA, which I thought would have been awesome for a final episode. Like actually put the group in. Oh, here's an idea for a final shot. What if they actually you actually see them enter Tom's restaurant from the outside?
That would have been something.
Yeah, because we never see them outside of it. Mm-hmm. In fact, do we ever see any of the main four in New York City?
We see Kramer's stand-in or double trying to go to the bathroom. I always think
of that jump, the Italian ice.
But I can't say that we've ever seen them in New York City proper.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But that's a great idea to have them actually, you have the establishing shots outside of Tom's or Monk's, and to have them walking up would be wonderful. Even, I don't know if they ever had tables outside in the show. But
that was a recent thing that the owner of Tom says. He's put seats outside for the summer or the warmer months. Now,
didn't Jason Alexander say something about that the four of them did go to Manhattan and sit outside somewhere and nobody even noticed them? Is that... Do I recall that?
Yeah, it was a Rolling Stone shoot. I think it was the one where they're wearing the leather, the black leather. They came to the city for the shoot, and then afterwards they went to eat, and they're like, "Man, everyone's going to recognize us. This is going to be crazy," and no one did.
That is baffling to me. It is because we're fans, but then at the same time, when I'm in New York, I'm kind of just minding my own business, trying to keep my head down, get from A to B, follow you because you walk so fast. So I guess it's plausible that nobody would bat an eye at them, and they just think they're lookalikes.
Yeah, lookalikes.
Whatever.
Well, Vinny, let's get started with our first scene here. We're at the dealership car lot. I never noticed, but it actually has a name. It's called European International.
Oh, cool.
And, sort of similar setup here to when George was buying the Volvo or the LeBaron.
Mom and pop store.
Right. So, outside, familiar setting. Jerry is shopping for a new car while George is wondering about flying cars. I think a lot of us wonder about these flying cars, when we're going to see them, and really why they haven't become a reality yet. But Jerry points out, I think Ed Begley Jr. has one.
No, that's just electric.
What about Harrison Ford? He had one in Blade Runner. That was kind of cool.
Well, what's the competition? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Do you feel like in 2018... you would still reference Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? I mean, there aren't many iconic flying cars, but...
True. My biggest connection to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is Ace Ventura singing the song in When Nature Calls.
Sure. But I guess what I'm getting at is, especially with a younger writing crew, I thought there would be a mention of the DeLorean. From Back to the Future. Maybe it's harder to say DeLorean and people know what you're talking about.
Oh, I disagree with that. Everyone knows what a DeLorean is.
Yeah.
Flying DeLorean?
Is that your flying car of choice from a movie or TV show?
I'd probably go with the DeLorean, and then I also really was keen on the Jetsons, the flying car with the little bubble on top.
Right. B5.
Yeah.
The Jetsons really ruined everything for us, because I think that's what everyone thinks about when...
That was the future.
The future, right. The flying cars, the robot maids.
They hit on Rosie. Love her. They hit on some things, though, with the iPad and the way we communicate with video.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll get there.
Star Trek 2, yeah, absolutely. Wrath of Khan. But the conversation doesn't end there with the flying cars. The guys want to know, well, where are the floating cities and the... underwater bubble cities. I really like this kind of cold open. Great conversation, and it's set within the main story here.
Mm-hmm. It feels like two friends who tend to kind of lean toward nerd culture, or at least sci-fi or comics or whatever, and they're kind of just debating back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
which is nice.
And I think that's a good trivia question, too, getting back to Blade Runner and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, because this cold open might be cut from syndication, but
you're right.
Those are two movie mentions that I don't think, most people think of on Seinfeld.
I'd also like to point out, we referenced the mom and pop store where George was buying a car. He seemed a lot less cynical back then than he is now, and will be for the rest of this episode.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Liz and I bought our first car last year. Before then we just had hand-me-down cars. I can't tell you how much George's attitude this episode has stuck with me for the past 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
We started looking at cars a year prior, so back in 2016. And we took so many test drives, went to so many different dealers. And the whole time, I'm nice and polite, but inside I've got this George voice saying
this rage.
Yeah, these guys are going to, screw you over. Don't believe anything they say. And Liz and I actually did the walkout a few times.
Oh, good for you.
We didn't make a big scene, but there was one point, we live in New Jersey, so maybe they're more aggressive, but we were leaving, and this guy didn't prevent us from leaving, but he kept talking to us, and we kept saying, all right, we'll see you later. All right, we'll see you later. And
you were being courteous, it sounds like. You were being
we were doing the walk and being like, all right, thank you. All right, thank you. And he followed us all the way outside to our car.
No, you should have given him a thank you, no. Go back.
What about you? You got a car a few years ago. Did you have a similar experience, or?
I did. Luckily, my friend Randy was in town. He's my friend who lives from Michigan State, now lives in Oregon. Great guy, but he is not one to be trifled with. So not only you have the salesman guy, but then once you select the car, you go into the purchasing
finance,
guy. Yeah. And the finance guy was the pushy guy. I had a really nice salesman, but the finance guy was so pushy, and he would not let me get a word in edgewise. And Randy, who's this big menacing biker guy, he kind of was my confidant, if you will. And he was the one who was saying, bro, sit down.
Yeah.
or step off. So luckily he made it a pleasant experience for me. I actually remember in this episode when Jerry says 20 minutes. No way in hell does it take 20 minutes, even with an insider's deal.
Yes.
So, but something about this episode we all relate to because we've all had to go through this experience at some point, and this is what makes this one of the great episodes.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Let's move on with the story here. Kramer is also with the guys, and he's testing out a Saab 900 by jumping up and down on the back bumper.
That's good suspension.
Would you stop it? You'll have plenty of time to destroy it after I get it. Hey, George, I'm buying this car.
What is wrong with you? You never tell him you like the car. You're not sure what you want. You don't even know why you're here.
I'm that vain again.
Starving. You should have had lunch first.
It'll be 20 minutes. I told you, Putty's getting me an insider deal.
Since when is Elaine's boyfriend selling cars? I thought he was a mechanic.
I guess he graduated.
That's an easy move. Go from screwing you behind your back to screwing you right to your face.
Thank you.
Putty's just going to give you the car, huh? You'll see. First they stick you with the undercoating, rust-proofing, dealer prep. Suddenly you're on your back like a turtle.
All right, calm down.
My father had a car salesman, but he was going to fix him up real nice. Next thing I know, I'm getting dropped off in a lay car with a fabric sunroof. All the kids are shouting at me, hey, Lay George! Bonjour, Lay George! Let's stuff Lay George and Lay Laka!
Jerry, I don't think this thing is hooked up right.
All right, we're going in.
You've got a good eye there. I see you've noticed the unibody construction. I'm Rick. Are you looking to buy or to lease?
Borrow. From my friend. Yeah, he'll be buying.
Maybe I should talk to him.
Oh, I don't think so. He's an entertainer. All over the place. That's where I come in.
I see. So you're his
A
manager?
neighbor. That's right. Why don't we take this boiler out for a shakedown?
Typical Kramer.
Yes.
Can we recall the last time we saw Jerry's car?
Well, Jerry has a long car history, but the last one we saw was in The Blood, right?
As far as I remember.
Right. But there are a few other cars. Remember Tony steals his Saab?
That's right.
In the bottle deposit. And I think in the middle seasons, 4, 5, and 6, he drove a BMW.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go all the way back to the ex-girlfriend, remember he had that huge boat?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was the ex-girlfriend, where Elaine and George are sitting
She doesn't want to have to put her head on the seats?
Yeah. And this website I found claims it was a 1987 Chevy Caprice, which is funny because that's what the cab driver says at the end of the episode.
Oh, how fitting.
Yeah. But can I run some other car trivia by you?
I probably won't get it right. But go ahead.
So Jerry has owned a Chevy Caprice, BMW, and a Saab. He technically owned a Cadillac, right?
Well, he purchased one.
He bought it back.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, okay, go ahead. I'm with you.
And he kind of owned that white van.
He did own a big juicy van for about 22 minutes. Yes.
All right. And then one last thing. This is a different character, but it's something we did not bring up in the Maestro, which I'm really upset about. You know when the Maestro pulls up and he's like doing his conducting?
Oh, with Elaine, right?
Yeah, and Elaine jumps in and they drive off. He's driving a LeBaron.
What? Get right out of town. How do you know that?
It was on this Seinfeld car guide website. And
Now,
he kind of
can you
looks like it.
confirm-
Yeah.
I was going to say, can you confirm that? Do you see any decals or... We're not car guys.
No.
So it'd be tough for us to substantiate that.
Right. But I trust the website.
Okay.
Some guy on the internet said it, Vinny. Come on.
Yeah.
Anything from this scene that you like? Any dialogue?
I like that line about Jerry. He's buying this expensive new car, and yet he's like understanding of Kramer. He knows Kramer's going to be the one to break it.
Right.
What about you?
Well, I just love everything George says in this scene and throughout the episode from, they stick you with the undercoating, rust proofing, dealer prep. Suddenly you're on your back like a turtle. Mm-hmm. I mean, you remember that huge contract he signed, right? And just all the breakdown of all the extra charges and fees and whatnot.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And we learn about, I guess, a traumatizing incident from George's childhood, the Le Car or Le Car.
Now, let me ask you, because I didn't know this was a thing. Have you Googled what a lay car looks like?
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a smushed sort of cars, right? Like a
smushed
hatchback.
is a good way to put it. Like the Mirthmobile from Wayne's World, or like a Pinto. But I can imagine George's head with the material, that sunroof,
What movie was that?
Lay locker.
What movie was that where like they put like a tall guy is sitting and they like throw the roof down and his head like rips through it?
Was it The Super with Joe Pesci?
Maybe. I want to say
or was
Addams Family.
Oh, that could be one with Lurch.
But it's got that fabric, either the fabric sunroof or the.
Okay, and then maybe like a commercial with Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, maybe that was it.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty horrible vehicle, but I like that nickname. Hey, Les George. Bonjour, Les George.
I think we forget that when we have the nickname discussion.
Well, that's true. We also meet the character Rick here, a car dealer who is going to be teamed up with Kramer this episode for an interesting arc. Yeah,
a guest star tag team partner for Kramer, which is kind of interesting. That's Daniel Hagen, who plays Rick, and I like him because he has like an innocence about him, or a naivete, if you will. Very sweet. But he was in American Crime Story, The Informant, and lots of voice work from this guy.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new season of American Crime Story, but I think he was in the 4th episode, if anyone's been watching. I always thought that this actor was the same guy from The Dinner Party. You're David, right? Just,
Jerry.
slim down.
Oh, no way. That's the guy from... I could see it.
I don't know,
That's the dude from Pee-wee.
Yes. For a long time, I'm like, oh, I got a double dipper for you, Vinny.
And I quickly pulled the sauce away from you.
Looks like I'm a little out of my league here. But let's move on to the showroom. George enters with Jerry and just has nothing but contempt for the salesman.
The only thing these guys fear is the walkout. No matter what they say, you say, I'll walk out of here right now.
Can I help you with something?
Hold it! One more step and we're walking!
George is at an 11 this entire episode.
It was hard for me to distinguish who I would give, performance of the week, because it was George at first, and then Putty's going to come in. Yeah. So let's see who edges out by the end of the episode.
For sure. Well, speaking of, Putty arrives with Elaine. He just took her out to celebrate his promotion. Where'd they go?
To a restaurant.
Arby's.
I had the roast beef.
I think this is the first mention of Arby's, right? Putty's favorite restaurant.
Did Patrick Warburton never did Arby's commercials, did he?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because that would have been like a genius marketing campaign to grab him at the height of Seinfeld popularity.
I think we'll hear another mention in The Burning where he's like, feels like an Arby's night.
Love this guy.
So Jerry says he's going with the 900 Saab convertible, and Putty says, hey, great, it's a classic. And then something happens that changed things in a deep and profound way from that day forward.
High five.
Jerry, I guess, gives Putty a high five. It's odd. How do you feel about high fives, Vinny? Are you someone that, gives out high fives to this guy or that gal?
It's funny, in my gym and my friends, no high fives are going on, but lots of fist bumps. I think the fist pump or the pounding, if you will, those are quite popular in today's day and age.
That's great. Yeah, the fist bump is sort of the high five of the 2000s.
Yeah. It's what the millennials use as the high five.
I actually can't remember the last time I gave a high five.
Well, I know what's going to happen when we see each other.
Okay. And not sure why, but Elaine steps away to use the copier. Do you know what that's all about?
Yeah, what is she making copies for? I don't know.
Well, while she's doing that, Putty shows Jerry and George the 900.
Yeah, you show us the 900.
Apparently, this is the final year for the Saab 900, 1988.
1988. What do you mean?
98.
There we go. So I think the salesman in which George was first taken aback by, we should all recognize this guy's face, especially if you watch the early Comedians in Cars. That's Riff Hutton. But he was in Star Trek Generations, lots of ADR work from this guy, Hunger Games, X-Men. But if you recall, he is the Acura guy from the Comedians in Cars ads.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know where you were going with that.
The confidence on that. Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring him up.
Well, let's cut over to a test drive here. We're seeing Kramer in the driver's seat with Rick next to him. This is the 1997 Saab 900 Cabrio, according to that car website.
Okay.
Anyways, Kramer's taking it out for a spin, and he ignores Rick when he says to, hey, make a turn so we can return to the dealership. Why is that?
If I'm going to recommend this car, I need to see that it can handle my daily routine.
Well, where are we going?
Just a little place I'd like to call You'll See.
All right, next scene, we're back in the showroom. Jerry sits down with Putty to discuss the deal, while George is starving and goes to find some donuts the dealership put out. What's his last bit of advice to Jerry?
Remember, no rust proofing. Commit to nothing. If you have to speak, mumble.
So, Putty, it's a pretty good move for you, huh? No more grease monkey.
I don't care for that term.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
I don't know too many monkeys who could take apart a fuel injector.
I saw one once that could do sign language.
Yeah, I saw that one. Coco.
Yeah, Coco.
Right, Coco. A chimp's all right. High five.
Hey, what's going on here? You didn't agree to anything, did you?
No, we both just saw the same monkey.
Well, I got screwed on the donuts. There were none left.
Well, there's a vending machine. I can show you where it is.
Hey, give me $1.
Where's your money?
I'm here helping you.
Hey, where's Putty? The copy machine is broken.
That's what they want you to think.
Hey, Elaine, have you noticed your boyfriend has developed an annoying little habit?
The squinting?
No.
The staring?
No. He keeps asking me to give him a high five.
I thought all guys do that.
Slapping hands is the lowest form of male primate ritual. In fact, even some of them have moved on. They're doing sign language now.
It's that bad?
What do you think the Nazis were doing? That was the Heil Five.
Isn't that from your act, like 10 years ago?
It was a good bit in the 80s, and it's still relatable today.
Good news. We got a 900 in black. That's the hot color. High five.
David, you know what? Can you come help me fix the copy machine? Come.
You owe me $5.
This might be the best performance of Patrick Warburton, or at least the highlight of his Seinfeld run.
For sure.
They also discuss the same monkey.
Oh, yeah. So this is huge. Coco, right?
Yeah.
This will come back in The Maid.
That's right.
In two ways. I think the most obvious is that George gets the nickname, right? Mm-hmm. He's jumping around like some kind of monkey. But what's the other one that might be more subtle?
the name of the maid is Coco.
That's right. Yeah, the one that George hires at Kruger, so he can lose the
They repeat
nickname.
that same joke, too.
That's the one I'm getting at. When Putty says, hey, that chimp's all right. High five.
Mm-hmm. And then Jerry's maid girlfriend says, yeah, that girl's all right.
Yeah, right?
Cool.
I love that.
And we get a lovely throwback to a stand-up Jerry did back in, the Limo, season 3, regarding Nazis and the Heil. Hey, Heil, how you doing? But this Heil 5 joke, and Elaine makes a wonderful comment about, isn't that from your act like 10 years ago? So
good bit in the 80s. It's still relatable today.
Very nice.
And we also get the great term grease monkey, which I wonder if mechanics find that offensive.
That might be what pushes their buttons if you call him Grease Monkey. Yeah. Hey, what did I tell you about that?
Also, sorry, one last thing here with Jerry asking, hey, Elaine, have you noticed your boyfriend developing like an annoying little habit?
The squinting?
No.
The staring. Very nice.
Well, here we go. George is at the vending machine for probably one of the most classic George storylines here. What does he go with?
Fifth Avenue bar, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh. Twix. B5.
And he doesn't get very far since the machine won't take his wrinkled dollar. But a mechanic walks up, puts in $1, has no trouble. And right from the get-go, this guy does not like George. He tells him, I can't give you change. I don't have any bills to trade. But George, follows him all the way back to the service entrance and calls him out. Excuse me, when your wallet was open, I glanced inside and I couldn't help but notice you had several crisp dollar bills.
You're incorrect.
The guy doesn't know what else to say, and he just heads back to the garage while George is just left venting about the employees, and he longingly looks at the Twix.
Oh, what I would do with you. Longing at that Twix.
Yeah.
The latest adversary in George's life is Joel McCrary, who plays Don the Mechanic. So we actually do know his name. It is a short name. Mo, Saul, Lem. It's Don, as he's credited in IMDb. But I got to say, if you look at his picture now, he is bald with glasses. So solidarity, brother. Little chest bump there. But he was in American Beauty, Mystery Men, excuse me. And he also does lots of voice work, too.
Interesting. Yeah, he always looked familiar, but I could never place him.
I think he had a beard in some of his roles back in the 90s.
Yeah, he's a great foil for George this week.
Yeah.
Let's cut over to the test drive. Kramer has been running errands this whole time. Also, he can truly experience the car and give his celebrity friend a full endorsement. But suddenly, Kramer notices some women walk by and he tries to get a smile from the femininas.
Hey, ladies! It's a Saab 900! What do you think? Can I interest you in a little supplemental restraint? Jeez.
What do you think they did?
I'm imagining middle fingers. I don't think they put the hams on the glass because that's probably what he would have wanted. Sure. So I'm going with middle finger.
This is kind of stupid, but I can imagine, especially in a show in the 90s, Kramer would be trying to pick up these women, and when they turn around to look at him, they all have beards or something like that.
Oh, so they're dudes and fellers.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerry!
So there's some cool behind-the-scenes trivia here about Kramer's errands. In the scene, there's a big Tweety bird in the back seat, right?
A big, fat Tweety bird.
We don't know where it's going or what happens to it, but I like to think that's sort of a reference to the Pez dispenser.
Yeah.
Why Tweety?
Yeah. But it's we should mention it's a life-size Tweety. It's not a tiny little, Pez size.
Or it's not a life size. It's a...
Not life-size. Excuse me. Thank you for catching that.
But in the script, at one point, Kramer was going to have a cigar store Indian in the backseat.
Why'd they cut that out?
And then later he would pick up vintage albums. So that connects to another episode. The Old Man.
Perfect. Acute observers would have really appreciated these little callbacks.
For sure. But there's actually a deleted scene here, which I don't have the audio for, unfortunately. It's not that funny. But at one point, the back is full of hay, and Kramer is dropping it off for Bob Sacamano.
Nice. If you do take notice in subsequent scenes, you can see some hay that is stuck to Kramer's jacket. So there's little remnants of that deleted scene there.
Awesome. Well, next scene, let's cut back to the dealership. Jerry strolls into the waiting room and sees George spread out on the floor, reaching under the vending machine.
I think the candy comes out over there.
People drop change down here, Jerry, and they're too lazy to pick it up.
Either that or they've got a weird little hang-up about lying face down in filth. Why don't you just go to the cashier?
The cashier is at lunch, which is where I'd like to be.
How much was under there?
I think something bit me. I just need another nickel.
Hey, Putty thinks I should go for the CD player. What do you think?
He's got a live one. He's just reeling this big fish in.
Hey, can I have my $1 back?
It's wrinkled. It's worthless. Come on! Jump!
They just put out some more donuts.
They did?
Last one.
Oh!
I love this running joke of just setting George up and then knocking him down.
Yeah, and it's amazing if you pitch the plot of like, oh, George tries to get a candy bar out of a vending machine. You hear like, how can they get meat out of that? But they found a way to. I think this is probably the best storyline of the episode is George trying to get Twix, and then people always getting ahead of him.
Definitely. And would you say like one of the most memorable George storylines? Or
Yeah. Just the way, I mean, to work on the dollar being rejected by the machine, and then, all the little things that George did to not get that Twix bar.
And some great dialogue in this scene, too, from Jerry mocking him. I think the candy comes out over there.
Mm-hmm.
Or a typical Jerry comment. Either that or they've got a weird little hang-up about lying face down in filth.
That was one of those lines that after Jerry delivered, he had a nice smirk on his face. Mm-hmm. He was very pleased to deliver that one, which, again, is always the charm with Seinfeld. That's why we love this show so much.
Yeah.
During the commentary of the episode, Patrick Warburton and Julia both in unison said, "And you want to be my latex salesman," when they saw George spread out on the floor.
That's great.
So that tickled me to hear them say that. So good.
That's my favorite episode, and I didn't even...
You missed it, didn't you?
Yeah, I missed it. My favorite part of the scene, though, is when Jerry says, "Hey, can I get my $1 back?"
No, it's wrinkled. It's worthless. There's that cheapness, though, like the subtle little cheapness references.
Cheap bastard, yeah.
Not only that, but when he noticed, he like has to look into the guy's wallet when he's looking, Don, the mechanic. Mm-hmm. Couldn't help but notice you have several crisp dollar bills.
Now, should we talk about this last guy here?
Yeah. Customer number one who... got the last donut. This guy looks like they just plucked him right out of the 70s and threw him in a Seinfeld episode. But Steve Susskind is his name. He passed away in 2005, but he was in Monsters, Inc., Friday the 13th, Part 3, and Star Trek 5.
The Final Frontier.
Oh, okay.
So this guy, I believe, is the actor who voiced Mr. Potato Guy in the Slicer. Because on the commentary for the Slicer... I think it was Greg and Andy said that the guy who voiced him came back for the dealership and he thought he was going to be playing Elaine's neighbor.
Oh, you're right.
So this is the only guy in this episode I could think of would be a likely candidate.
It wouldn't be we're going to meet a father and son duo later on. So I think you're right.
Yeah. So anyways,
cool.
This, in my opinion, is Mr. Potato Guy.
So an unofficial dipper, if you will.
Yes. All right, let's cut over to the test drive. Kramer says they have just one more errand to run before returning to the dealership. And Rick points out, well, we need to stop for gas soon because the gauge is on E.
You know, Rick, oftentimes Jerry, he lends me his car and I find myself in a situation where the car is almost out of gas, but for a variety of reasons, I don't want to be the one responsible for purchasing costly gasoline.
So you want to know how far you can drive your friend's car for free?
Will I make it up to him in other ways?
Back to the vending machine. George drags a salesman, the guy from those Acura ads. Mm-hmm. He drags him over to the vending machine, explaining what happened. But when they look inside, George's Twix isn't dangling anymore. In fact, both Twixes are missing. And he doesn't understand what happened until he sees the mechanic from earlier behind a window eating a candy bar. And George concludes he must have bought one and gotten both. And don't you love this moment where George, he yells at the mechanic like, "Hey, I see you. That is my Twix."
And the mechanic just knows this is going to get a rise out of him. Plop, right in his mouth, puts the last bite of Twix, and he walks away.
Yes. I kind of complained last week about, or I guess during the apology, about how, George is always yelling. He's always like at a cartoony level with his performance. Not a criticism of Jason, just the character this season, but I think it fits so well in this episode. Mm-hmm. It's justified because George is so hungry. Who wouldn't get angry?
Yeah, you buy his anger this week. Mm-hmm. Although having said that, it looks like the anger management courses did not work that well.
Good point, yes. All right, next scene, we're in the back office. Putty helps Elaine with the broken copier.
Paper jam. Got it.
Yay.
High five. On the flip side.
David,
Don't leave me hanging.
you're a salesman now. The high five it's very grease monkey.
What did I tell you about that?
I'm sorry, but the high five is just so stupid.
Oh, yeah? I'll tell you what's stupid. You, stupid.
Oh, that is really mature.
Yeah? So are you. You're the grease monkey.
That doesn't make any sense. I am leaving.
Yeah, if you leave, we're through.
Fine, we're through.
Oh, so you're leaving?
That's right. High five. On the flip side. Taking me to Arby's.
Hey, where were you?
Let's finish this up.
Did you two break up?
That chick's whacked. Or history. Just left out a couple of things. Rust proofing.
Rust proofing?
Transport charge. Storage surcharge. Additional overcharge. Finder's fee.
Finder's fee was on the lot.
Yeah, that's right. And floor mats, keys.
Keys?
They're gonna start it.
So now I think Putty is in the lead for performance of the week. So it's like a heavyweight fight going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. That last line, keys, how you going to start it?
Yes.
I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but I always thought Putty said they get it started.
Oh,
like that still works, doesn't it?
It does. You're so simple and adorable. Let's go through each line. I mean, I think every Putty line in the scene is one that we can say is one of our favorites.
Mm-hmm.
When Elaine says "grease monkey," what did I tell you about that? You don't go there. That's the offensive word for mechanics.
Well, Vinny, a high five is just so stupid.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what's stupid. You, stupid.
He's not very good at arguing, especially when she just says, "Oh, that's mature."
Yeah. So are you.
You're the grease monkey.
My favorite is when, after they've broken up, she storms off, and he's like, "Where were we?" And Jerry says, "Did you break up? That chick's whacked." And then did you notice the list of charges he was adding up? You got, what is it? Rust proofing, transport charge, storage surcharge, and then additional overcharge. That one I liked that they snuck in there. And then they ended up with a finder's fee.
It was on a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
I was so naive going into the dealership despite watching this episode, thinking like, they
couldn't possibly charge me for keys.
Or like, but itemize every single thing you purchase.
Yeah, well.
Anyways, we got an act break, and we're in the garage where the mechanic works, and George finds his way back there, confronts Don, or the mechanic, about what he did, but the guy corrects him. It wasn't a Twix, it was a Fifth Avenue bar.
That was no Fifth Avenue bar. I can see the crumb right there on the corner of your lip. Now that is a cookie, and we all know that Twix is the only candy bar with the cookie crunch.
No, it's a little nougat.
Nougat, please. I think I've reached a point in my life where I could tell the difference between nougat and cookie. So let's not just say things that we both know are obvious fabrications.
I love that. It's almost like a source of pride. Like,
oh yeah,
I know the difference between nougat and cookie.
There are a few things George knows a thing or two about, but cookie and nougat, I think, would be one of them.
Yeah.
And now I'd like to point out that George is in the lead.
And before walking away, the mechanic, I guess now, is the second person to point out the vein on George's head. Jerry being the first when they were outside.
I know about the vein. George is like having a hernia when he delivers that line.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. Like, he must have gotten headaches after filming, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, well, here's a great moment too. George is just left standing there. Jerry rushes up and eats this last candy as he explains that Putty is ripping him off. And as we heard at the top of the show, George compares this place to Thunderdome, and then he like runs away from a saleswoman.
We should notice, or we should point out that some nice bloopers came out of the scene as Jerry got to do a little bit of I guess physical comedy, eating the last dud or M&M.
It got so ridiculous because in the blooper, it's like Jerry dangles it in front of him.
Mm-hmm. and George tries to eat it without using his hands. He tries to eat it right out of Jerry's hand.
Believe this guy. George, Hank, I'm starving.
Oh, last one. So,
Believe this guy. George, go. I'm starved.
last one. Last one. Listen. You gotta help me out. I don't know why.
Yeah.
All right, let's cut over to the test drive. Rick is looking a little strung out. You know, the tie is loosened, shirt unbuttoned. He's slouching in his seat.
Where is it now?
There's still some overlap between the needle and the slash below the E.
How low are you going to go?
Oh, I've been in the slash many times. This is nothing. You'll get used to it. Just put it out of your mind.
Have you ever been completely below the slash?
Well, I almost did once, and I blacked out. When I came to, the car was in a ditch and the tank was full. I don't know who did it, and I never got to thank them.
Mr. Kramer, the road! Whoop!
I really enjoyed Kramer's strategic maneuvering while driving, though. Whoop! Whoop!
This is something we need to do next time we're together.
We'll pretend to do it.
Mr. Vinnie the Road.
I really enjoyed in the early part of that clip. Rick's getting a little bit flustered, as you said. But Kramer, being so calm, says, "There's still some overlap between the needle and the slash below the E." I don't know. I like his delivery of that line.
Do you, or did you ever push the limits with the gas gauge?
I've been on E before, but I do recall when I test drove my current car, the the salesman took us for a test drive, and
wait, he drove the car?
He started driving. He took us somewhere, and then we got out, and then he let me drive.
Oh, okay.
I guess he didn't want me to pull a Kramer. And when we left the dealership, there were only 5 miles left in the tank, but it was already kind of on E, and then the light came on, and he's like, no, you're good. So he kept urging me to keep driving when I'm like, sir, we're going to run out of gas here. So I was hearkening back to this episode.
The car you have, does it have a countdown then?
It does, yeah,
Okay.
which I really like. It's got the digital.
Yeah, I feel like these days you can't really push it, or, I mean, in a weird way, the countdown, how many miles you have left, is similar to the E. I doubt when you hit 0, the car is going to stop.
Well, why don't we try that next time you come down?
I think so. I mean, back when, I had an older car, I knew it so well. I went below the E all the time.
Oh, yeah? Did the needle go below the slash?
Yeah, well, it went below the E, went below the slash. I knew that car. Like, I knew, and I could feel it, when it needed the gas. Anyway, let's cut over to the showroom. Jerry pulls out the big guns and sicks George on Putty. But all George can talk about is the missing Twix bar.
Listen, Putty, I need to know the name of a mechanic that works around here. Big guy, Elia, short name, Sam, Mo, Saul.
Good trivia. Jerry tries to get him to focus, please. But George, understandably, can't because he's so hungry. And Putty adds that, I can't get you the black Saab at the price I quoted. Now it's yellow. So Jerry turns back to George for help.
This is wrong.
Sing it, sister.
Just because a candy bar falls from its perch does not imply transfer of ownership. Mo Saul Lem is not going to get away with this.
So that's a new name.
Lem.
Lem.
So we got Sam, Mo, Saul, Lem, but his name is actually Don.
It's Rick, by the way.
No time.
So George storms off and Jerry chases after him while we cut back to the test drive. The needle is way past the...
Is it just the angle I'm looking from?
No, sir. We are down there.
Oh, this is amazing. Oh, I never felt so alive.
All right, I'm satisfied. We better get some gas.
What? Well, we can't stop now.
What do you mean?
We have to keep going all the way back to the dealership. That was the plan.
There was no plan.
Well, let's make it the plan. Let's just go for it, like Thelma and Louise.
They drove to a dealership?
No, they drove off a cliff.
You are one sick mama. I like it.
We should clear the road.
I love that. We get it back to back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we forgot to mention earlier the story that Kramer told Rick, in which one time the needle did go past the slash and he blacked out. The car ended up in a ditch, and when he came to, there was gas in the tank. And he never got to thank who did it.
That's such a funny story, but kind of creepy too, right? Like,
yeah.
What happened? This storyline, though, is just off the rails. Something's happening to Rick. You know, he's going through some sort of life crisis here. Yeah. And he thinks they should be like Thelma and Louise.
And at this point, Kramer likes that he's a sick little monkey or whatever he calls him.
Yeah, you're one sick mama. I like it. There's actually a great line. I'll save it for later, but I don't know. Kramer seems to go back and forth with Rick. You know, sometimes he likes his craziness. Other times he's a little disturbed by it. But next scene, we're at Elaine's apartment here. And also we're going to cut back with the showroom. Elaine gets a phone call from Jerry. And what a great callback here to the many phone calls George makes in a panic.
Who is this?
Elaine. I think this is the only time another character does, you know, like this teasing.
Mm-hmm.
The first, who is this, happened in the Bizarro Jerry when George accidentally burned the photo of man hands. And he's in the bathroom. He's like, you got to get me another picture. And then it happened again in the nap when, he's like, Steinbrenner's here. You gotta get him out of here. And then there's a variation in the checks. The Japanese guys had sake in the hot tub. Uncle Leo?
I like you doing a befuddled George. I enjoy that.
Oh, thanks.
And then apparently, you know, Elaine doing the who is this was added during filming. Originally, she was going to answer the phone and pretend to be an answering machine and say, I'm sorry, I'm not here to take your call right now, at the tone. And then Jerry was going to hit the phone. So I much prefer that they switched it to the who is this?
Did you ever call someone and they did the answering machine message like, hello? Oh, hey, what's up? And then you start talking.
I gotcha.
I hated that so much. I don't know. Maybe people still do it. Anyways, Jerry tells Elaine that she has to get back together with Putty so he can make the original deal. And he actually makes some good points. They're going to get back together anyways. She doesn't have to see him until his 15,000-mile check. But she has a few demands herself.
Will you pay for my cab fare out there?
Fine.
And I didn't like that roast beef, so how about some lunch?
No lunch.
I'll hang up this phone right now.
All right, lunch.
I'll see you.
Everybody's ripping me off.
Elaine doing her best George impersonation there.
Yeah. Well, let's cut back to the dealership. We're at the customer service window here. George is in line and steps up to talk to the sales manager.
Would you like to report a problem with one of your mechanics?
When did you bring your car in?
Yeah, right. I'm going to get my car repaired at a dealership. Why don't I just flush my money down the toilet?
Sir, what exactly is the problem?
One of your guys, Kip or Ned, short name, stole my Twix candy bar.
Are you saying he grabbed your candy bar away from you?
He might as well have. I caught him, and his face was covered in chocolate and cookie crumbs.
I thought you said it was a Twix.
Oh, it was. But he claimed it was a Fifth Avenue bar.
Maybe it was.
Oh, no. Twix is the only candy with the cookie crunch.
What about the $100,000 bar?
Nope, rice and caramel.
Nougat?
No.
Positive?
Please.
You know they changed the name from $100,000 bar to $100,000?
All I want is my 75 cents back, an apology, and for him to be fired.
I remember when you used to be able to get a Hershey for a nickel.
What's the one with the swirling chocolate in the commercial?
They all have swirling chocolate in the commercial.
Not Skittles.
Dad, I told you could sit here only if you don't talk.
You make your father sit here all day?
He likes it.
All right, do you mind? I have the window. Now, what are you going to do about my Twix?
Twix has too much coconut.
No, there's no coconut.
I'm allergic to coconut.
I'm not.
A nickel.
I love me some Willie Sr.
This, I'm going to say it right now, I think this might be the best scene in the episode. And we were talking about who's better, Putty or George. I mean, it's these supporting characters and actors that are so good.
There are some major players, yes. Let's go through them.
Well, can I ask you first? Sorry.
What you got?
Who is your favorite out of the bunch?
It is woman or service assistant who's played by Dee Freeman, and she's the one. She I think she has 2 lines in the whole show, but her first is, they changed the name of the $100,000 bot, $100 grand. She's awesome, but her next line is going to be the tops.
Yes.
So that's Dee Freeman.
I agree. It was what I was going to say.
Yes, thank you. She plays the service assistant. Tremendous voice, tremendous delivery. She was in Shameless as well as Pretty the series. And then we're going to be introduced to his name is Willie, who's the man behind the service counter next to her. He's played by Michael Kagan. Star Trek Voyager. He was in a Friends episode, How I Met Your Mother. And then we meet Willie's father, Willie Sr., played by Howard Mann, who passed away in 2008, but he was in History of the World Part 1 and Malibu's Most Wanted.
My dad.
My grandson. My boys.
And do we meet? Oh, I guess the man came back, right, from earlier. Mr. Potato Guy. Yes. Mm-hmm. Twix has too much coconut.
Oh, and then... No, that's no coconut! And then, here's one for you. There's a woman that says... You make your father sit here all day? That woman's played by Loretta Fox. She plays Customer. Mm-hmm. But I bring her up because she was in a Curb episode. Funkhauser's crazy sister. She played Lou's wife.
Remind me who Lou is?
I don't know who Lou is.
Oh.
There's a little dinner party going on, and I'm assuming she's Lou's wife.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to revisit that.
Fat boy likes it.
So many great lines. You mentioned the $100,000 bar. The what's the one with the swirling chocolate in the commercial? They all have swirling chocolate in the commercial.
Yes. Everybody just irritates George to no end. It's fabulous.
And some great trivia. Not only can you mention all of the candy bars, but what is the only non-chocolate candy mentioned in the episode?
Skittles.
Yeah. All right, let's cut back to the showroom. Elaine arrives, and Jerry jumps in as a mediator. What's important is that the two of you get back together, and then we'll talk about the car. But Putty, he's standoffish. He doesn't want to. Elaine's too bossy.
David. Everybody, please stop the podcast, pop in the DVD or Hulu, watch that scene. After Julia says David, you can see her lips start to curl because she's pulling a Jerry, and it's like, now pleased with the delivery of that line.
Also, I think Jerry is cracking a little bit.
It's such a perfect joke.
According to the commentary, I think Jerry was the one to come up with that because they're trying to figure out how can we make Elaine bossy in this scene. Anyways, Jerry sits them down and points out the obvious. You find each other attractive. Also, no one else can stand to be with either of you.
All right. Now, what do I have to do to put you two in a relationship today?
So clever. I love that.
I got to say, Stephen Korn is hitting a home run this week.
Mm-hmm. Back on the road, the test drive, Kramer pulls into a gas station so he can get them something to eat.
Cars can go on empty, but not us humans, huh, fella? I'll get us a couple of Twix bars.
No coconut for me.
All right, I'll get you a Mounds bar. Keep the engine running.
Ah!
Oh, man, not the gas.
But it needs it, Kramer. It needs it bad.
You think that this will make you happy? Because it won't.
Oh, you should just go on without me.
Listen to me. When when that car rolls into that dealership and that tank is bone dry, I want you to be there with me when everyone says Kramer and that other guy, oh, they went farther to the left of the slash than anyone ever dreamed.
Maybe we better get moving.
It's good to have you back, Stan.
It's Rick, by the way.
No time.
It's kind of sad that they're having this nice bonding experience and Kramer can't bother to remember Rick's name.
Which is weird because he called him Rick earlier.
Oh, well.
Can you think of any other time Kramer uses the wrong name? Several moments.
Can I have a hint?
One is at a bar.
Oh, I have a brewski, Charlie.
Name's Mitch. The other is on the sidewalk. One of George's
Lily.
Yeah, Lily, not Susan.
Damn it. Yeah, what else?
And then one of Elaine's boyfriends.
Kitzmiller. Langerhans Kitzmiller.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with me. Maybe I have mono or something.
I think you're just really bored. Yeah. This gas station might look familiar. We last saw it in the pledge drive when George pulls over to, I think, confront the guy who gave them the finger.
Is that Danny Tartable? Now, did you pick up on that joke early in the clip? Get us a couple of Twix bars. No coconut for me. All right, I'll get you a Mounds bar. That is, just give this guy a Emmy or something.
All right, let's cut over to the back office, and I just want to preface this scene. This is when George is taking Willie, the sales manager, to this back room. There's a closed door. This, I think, might be one of the most ridiculous resolutions to a story. It's full of plot holes. It really makes no sense, but I love it so much.
Yep. I've got questions.
Mr. Costanza, I really don't have time for this.
Now, if this mechanic guy was, in fact, eating a Fifth Avenue bar, as he claims, wouldn't you agree he would have no problem picking one out from a candy lineup?
Candy lineup?
I've spent the last hour preparing 10 candy bars, with no wrappers or identification of any kind for him to select from.
Took you an hour?
Only I hold the answer key to their true candy identities. And so, without further ado, I give you the candy lineup.
Hey, Willie, check it out. Free candy.
That's my candy lineup. Where are my cards? They're all on the floor. And you? How many Twix does that make for you today? Like 8 Twix?
No. Hey, this cork bar is good.
It's a Twix! They're all Twix! It was a setup! A setup, I tell you! And you've ruined it! You've all screwed me again! Now give me one! Give me a Twix!
They're all gone.
Twix!
What was that?
There's a mental hospital right near here.
Okay, so before we go to the candy lineup, that mental hospital, possibly Woodhaven.
Oh, where Patrice went?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, this is in a mental institution.
Or what about George when they took his belt, Jerry? They took his belt.
Let's retcon it. It's all the same place.
And Pop Lazari. Pop. So we are at the candy lineup. Do we go through with what we liked, or should we start poking holes in this? What do you want?
Let's just do the plot holes right out the gate.
Okay.
What's your first
Negative
question?
First. George was starving. He could feel his stomach sucking up against his spine. He took an hour to assemble this candy lineup. Why didn't he just eat the candy and satisfy his hunger?
That's the second question. The first question is, where the hell did George get all these Twix bars, right?
Exactly. Don bought the last 2 pairs.
Mm-hmm.
That means George must have went off site and bought it somewhere else, maybe at a bodega. So there's a question there. How did he get the money? Because all he had was one wrinkly dollar in his wallet. But he may have a credit card, so that one checks out. What else? And what other plot holes do we have?
I think those are 3 huge plot holes that, again, don't make any sense. But this scene, once again, is so good.
Yeah.
Jason, the supporting cast, this is, I think, one of the all-time best storylines from season 9.
May I have permission to say my favorite line in the scene?
Yeah, please.
Hey, Willie, check it out! Free candy! I didn't do it as good as her, but you guys get the gist.
It's all about the free candy.
Free candy, yeah.
It's so infuriating once you get in the scene. Hey, this Clark bar is good.
Oh, yeah, that. And I forgot, Don had another killer line. What does that make, like 8 Twix for you? No.
And we get the final, the third and final time, character will look up and scream to the heavens.
So there is a great trivia question. I wonder if you've used that before. Of what are the 3 words shouted as the camera is spinning out of control, over top of a character?
I've asked that before, and I'm always shocked how many people get it right.
Oh, good. Okay. So just for those playing at home, we got Con, Sue's, Twix.
Great scene. Love it so much. Plot holes be damned. Fantastic storyline for George this week. Back to Putty and Elaine. Jerry has helped the couple come up with a deal. What is it? What's the deal?
No calls the day after that. Just kidding. Different deal. Arby's no more than once a month, and in exchange, Elaine comes to Putty's softball games and doesn't read a book.
Well, that's not bad.
I can live with that.
So the two are back together, and Jerry shifts back to his deal. Turns out the dealers don't even know what undercoating is. You gotta wonder that sometimes.
Yeah.
But like most charges, they're ripoffs. So he's getting the insider deal, but before things are final, Putty sticks his hand up for a high five, and Jerry just stares at it.
Ooh.
Yes. Now, we didn't have a clip to play there, but when Jerry has the line, Arby's no more than once a month, it's definitely an ADR.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit in with the rest of the dialogue or the sound. And I never noticed it before, but apparently the original line was going to be about this Japanese restaurant on Elaine's block.
Oh, yeah.
Putty says, like, oh, it's horrible. The health department closed them down twice. And Elaine would say, but it's so close. So that's what, like, part of the deal would have been about.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they cut it for time. Kind of interesting, though, if they're talking about health issues with the restaurant. That kind of tracks back to the apology, being germaphobes.
Yeah, you're right. But I much prefer the Arby's line.
All right, so on to the test drive. Kramer and Rick are approaching the dealership on the highway, and they start celebrating. They made it this far on E. Rick reflects on the experience, and he starts thanking Kramer. He learned a lot. Things are going to be different for me now.
Well, that's a weird thing to say.
That's the line I was referring to earlier. I like how Kramer goes through so much with this guy, and then he finally realizes, oh, this guy is bonkos.
This is the one thing that he says that makes him see that.
But the two guys are left wondering how much farther they could have made it. They look at each other, grab hands, and they floor it. And, this kind of feels like a movie parody that most people don't remember. Other endings like The Godfather with the door close, the Nixon ending in the Cadillac.
Well, I actually disagree, because I don't think I've seen Thelma and Louise, but I've seen it parodied in Wayne's World 2, and I knew exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I know exactly what's going on here with them going over the cliff, and the nice thing is they reference it earlier in the episode, so driving off a cliff.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that people don't get it. I feel like me personally, I don't remember it. Like,
okay.
I forgot that they.
Oh, I see.
It's not like blatant. Like, there's no music. It's not really long and drawn out. It's just.
There's no cliff.
Yeah, it's just the hand hold and the flooring it.
Okay, you're right.
Over the credits, we're in a cab. George is finally getting to eat, going to town on a roast beef sandwich from Arby's. Turns out Jerry couldn't give Putty a high five, so the whole deal ended. Why couldn't he just give Putty the high five?
Where does it end? Then everyone's doing it. It's like the wave at ball games. Air quotes. The phrase, don't go there. Someone's got to take a stand.
And Elaine and Jerry wonder, like the audience, what George's plan was exactly. Was he trying to set up the mechanic or the manager?
I don't know. All of them. They're all crooks. Couldn't get all different candy bars anyway.
That last line always confused me. I couldn't get all different candy bars anyway.
So he wanted to... Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that's the plot hole. the plot hole is how'd you get him to begin with?
Exactly, yes. Because he was better off getting all Twix, because that way he would have definitely set him up.
Yeah, he could have just sat down. Well, I was saying he could just sit down and eat them. But...
Anyway.
So a car speeds by where you hear the passengers screaming. Must have something to do with that mental institution. And eventually, the Saab runs out of gas and comes to a stop on the shoulder.
Woo! Wahoo! Wahoo! Well, I think we stopped.
Yeah, it's like sobering, right? Reality sets in. The guys stop holding hands. And Kramer says, I'll think about it, and gets out of the car.
Do you have my card?
So, what do you think?
So, Matt, would you say this episode is all right? Or would you say this episode is whacked?
Yeah, this episode's all right. High five. Yeah, this is, one of those episodes that I think ranks in like the top 5 for me of season 9. I don't know if it's my favorite quite yet. I'll have to wait for our season recap, but
okay.
It's definitely making my top 24 today. Not sure where it'll go yet, but I just love everything from the George storyline to the setting is fantastic. Every scene has memorable dialogue. Putty is, as you pointed out earlier, probably his best in this episode. Love Kramer's stuff on the road and just how bizarre his friendship or relationship is with Rick. What about you?
I totally adored this episode. I loved rewatching it, taking my notes. I loved recapping it with you and just reliving everything. This so far has been my favorite episode of season 9.
Nice.
And if you look back at all the, what do we call them? The standalone shows or the ones that are like plays. I mean, the classics with the Chinese restaurant and parking garage. But this ranks up there among the greats. Like you said, everybody's performance this week was wonderful. I still don't know who would win. Is it George or Putty? And I think I'd have to just lean slightly to. It starts with George Costanza this week. He edges out Putty just by a morsel of nougat in being the best performance this week because he's so good.
Hey, something we didn't mention about Putty during the episode when Jerry's on the phone with Elaine. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Yes, please do the honors.
This is Jerry is on the phone, and in the background you see Putty at his desk, but he's just sitting there and staring.
He's staring off into space, and for the entire scene, it's a shot of Jerry close up, and then in the background you see Putty. He doesn't budge. He's just staring off into the distance, and it's so good and so subtle, but it's wonderful. You know what? I changed my mind. Putty wins this week because of that.
Well, I was going to say, whoever you pick, I'll pick the other character, just so there's some balance.
All right, I'll take George. I take it all back.
Well, I want George.
Okay.
Now, which one is George? Which one is Putty?
But yeah, wonderful episode from start to finish, and supporting characters were great. Everything about it. I can't even think of a bad thing to say, other than them leaving out the cigar store Indian to be in the back seat as one of the props that Kramer was moving around. That's my gripe this week.
It was interesting, breaking down each scene. And while I was taking notes, the Kramer Rick stuff felt kind of repetitive. I wish there was more props, more physical stuff in the car or what they're up to than just, saying, "Hey, are we on empty yet?" Like, I don't know, maybe they had to pare down and simplify the Kramer story because it is more about the gas gauge than the errands.
The gaze.
But well, Vinny, I think we're in agreement here. It's going to crack our top 24. So. Where are you going to put it on your list? I can go first if you want some time.
No, actually, I have the number already ready.
What do you got?
I am popping the tops and tossing the stumps away for the muffin tops. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put this at my number 12, after the Bubble Boy and before the Label Maker. Number 12.
Wow, I'm looking at your top. So every episode from 1 to 5. Oh, I guess you have the hot tub in there. I was just saying it's been a long time until anything made your top 15.
Mm-hmm. That's how good it is.
Nice. Well, I'm going to rank mine close to your number 12. I'm going to put this at my number 17. So I'm saying goodbye to the 7, and this is going to fit right between the muffin tops at 16 and the hot tub at 18.
Hey, it went right in front of both of our hot tubs.
Hey, how do you like that?
I like it.
Out of the ruins the same mistake this time.
All right, that's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. Leave us a voicemail at Coco Bosco.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
We are discussing the 12th episode of Season 9, The Reverse Peephole.
And Vinny, we're actually recording this on Valentine's Day, and I was just wondering, what do you look for on a day like this?
I just really need somebody who will want me, love me, shower me with kisses. Mm.
That was a reach. All right. For now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off.
Au revoir, LaGeorge.